believe it, sits down. Her friends jump up. They're like, woo-hoo-hoo, got you, fool. And they start pointing at me. Well, when it was done, students surrounded me for a while because they had a ton of questions. And this girl waited till everybody was gone. And she came up to the front. She was 17 years old, she told me. And she goes, thank you for doing your best to defend atheism. I was like, sure, why are you thanking me? She goes, well, I'm an atheist. I said, really? You're at a Christian camp? That's great you're here. How did you get here? She said, well, I am a leader in my youth group. I said, I feel like I'm missing something here. She said, I grew up in the church. I can't remember if she went to a Christian school or not, Christian family. I've been told this stuff my whole life. I started to realize I have questions, and my parents and family, they just deflected my questions. I started to realize I don't believe this anymore. I said, well, have you told anyone? She said, you're the first person I've told. I said, why haven't you told anyone else? And I'll never forget what she said. She said, because I'm afraid they'll treat me like they just treated you. And I was like, oh my goodness. I don't think we realize as Christians the stories we tell, the attitudes we have, the jokes we laugh at, what it often communicates to people who are not believers. So I just want you to reflect upon this. I have no stake in this game. Maybe you don't believe in God, but if you were not a believer in God and you're watching this, what would your impression of Christians be? That's worth asking. Christians are thoughtful, they're patient, they're gracious, they love atheists, or would it be something else? I don't know the answer to that, but that's what I want you to think about. I was speaking at a conference in Duluth, Minnesota, and there were 1,500 students. I turned around to start my atheist role play because they knew I actually was a Christian, and this group of students go, boo, boo, go home, Mr. Atheist. And the youth pastor shouts out, you're going to hell, like he shouts it out. And so I went off script. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I was called to share my atheist story. Like, why would you boo me? And I started laying into these students. I said, wait a minute. Keep in mind there's like 1,500 students. I said, you think Jesus would boo an atheist guest or treat him that way? Like, Jesus was accused of being a friend of sinners. Jesus actually said to love your enemies. I said, what about Paul? 1 Corinthians 13 says, if you speak in tongues or you speak words of prophecy, but you have not love, you have nothing.